Check Your Leader TV presents SPQR's Germania Cavalry for review. This is just a quick video review, first impressions of, I got these from Warlord Games. It's the SPQR Warband Combat in the Ancient Era Germania Horseman. Okay, now SPQR is Warlord Games, I think, skirmish level rules for the ancient period. I don't play SPQR and I have no real interest in doing so. But I did grab them for Infamy because conveniently you get 6 horsemen in a pack, and that's exactly what I need to make up a cavalry group in Infamy. First thing that I find interesting about these is they're plastic, but quite unlike say the plastic figures that you would get from Victrix. These are sort of like a bit of a softer, more bendy kind of plastic, reminiscent of like the old Airfix soldiers, but not as soft. It's sort of like in between an Airfix figure and a Victrix plastic or a Perry plastic figure. First impressions is the quality of the miniatures is quite nice. Don't have any problems with the actual miniatures as such. I'm trying to get them in focus. And you get 3 different types of figure, so 2 of each. Essentially, and they come with metal spears or javelins. Another nice touch is you get bases for them as well, and 8 bases for 6 horses and 6 riders, so a couple of spares. That's always nice. But the horses, this is where I have a problem. The horses are nicely sculpted, but they're really like quite bendy, and yeah, not a fan. They're really quite. They strike me as flimsy, and they're very narrow. So when you put the rider on the horse, there's a bit of gap between the rider and the horse, and like I said, the horse itself, it's just, yeah. So okay, so that's the Warlord Games SPQR box set. Yeah, look, I won't be buying any more of them, not the cavalry anyway. They're just, to me, they're just too flimsy. And it's just like, yeah, not a fan of the horses, and the miniatures doesn't fit snugly on the horse. You know, there's a considerable gap between the horse and the rider's legs and the horse, so, you know. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents worth. So that's the SPQR box set from Warlord Games. So these are them freshly glued onto the bases. I use liquid nails actually. The reason I do that is because it can also texture it up a bit. So as well as attaching the figure to the base, I can do a bit of texturing. But anyway, that's by the by. So there they are, glued on. Yeah, they're nice. They're serviceable, nice looking miniatures. There's nothing wrong with them. regards to that. It's just I just can't get past how flimsy these horses are. And these are the javelins that they come with, which are really nice. So yeah, if it's just it's just the horses that are doing it for me. Well, not doing it for me, I should say. That's the issue I have. But I could just be being overly critical. But here they are, and that's what you're looking at for your money. And how much do they cost? Well, a box of these is going to set you back £20. All right, so in Australian money, that's about 35 bucks. So you're looking at approximately $6 a figure, which is about the average. It's not outrageously expensive by any stretch of the imagination. Oh, I should add, you do obviously get the shields with them as well. I haven't got the shields here. I've actually taken those aside, and I've already started prepping them. But rest assured, you know, these are the kind of shields you can get. You know, you get the square, the wicker, and the hexagon or the coffin type shield. So yeah, there's no shortage of shields. Yeah, so £20, 20 Great British pounds, which is in Australian money equates to about 40 Australian dollars, 38, and don't ask me what it is in US, but I'm going to guess, I'm going to say it's 30 US dollars or something like that. Actually, these cost me $50 Australian to get here in Australia. So I thought I'd better add that in. Yeah, so it's a little bit more of a sting. Now, by contrast, one of your options, you could look at War Games Foundry's Germanic or Germania Cavalry. They have 4 codes consisting of 3 cavalry each, so you could mix and match. You could get 6 figures, and they sell the 3 figures for £15, so you would now be looking at £30 as opposed to £20. But the Foundry miniatures are metal, and I've got the Foundry miniatures, and I highly recommend them. I think they're pretty good. The best option, though, I think for Ancient Cavalry at this stage is Victrix, where you can get, for example, the Gaelic Cavalry. You can get 12 of them for £23, and they are better in detail and versatility than both the Warlord Games SPQR ones and the War Games Foundry ones, in my opinion. But unfortunately, Victrix don't make German cavalry. They do have Gauls and Ancient Spanish, but not German. At a pinch, I guess you could use the Gaul cavalry. But hey, we're talking about Germanic cavalry, so let's just put the Victrix option aside for a moment. But I would, if I was down choosing between the Warlord Games miniatures or the War Games Foundry ones, I would spend the extra money and I'll get the medals from War Games Foundry. But anyway, that's all for now. I'll do a review of the Victrix Cavalry later on, because Victrix, I think, for Ancient Cavalry, I think they really need to be considered. They're on top of my list. And Victrix is rapidly becoming my go-to range for the ancient period when it comes to plastics. But that's all for today. I'll just wrap it up there. And as Ginger would say, like, share and subscribe. Ubiquay.